Why being poor is so expensive. Have you ever noticed that the people with the least money often end up paying the most? Imagine this. Your car battery dies. If you have $250 sitting in your savings account, you replace the battery the same day. Problem solved. But if you don't have that money, now you're paying for an Uber to work. Maybe you miss a shift. Then you put the battery on a credit card with 30% interest. Suddenly, a $250 problem turns into a $500 problem over the next few months. Or maybe you've skipped buying quality shoes because they're expensive. Instead, you buy the $30 pair that falls apart every few months while someone else buys one $120 pair that lasts for years. It feels backwards. The people with the least money somehow pay the highest prices. And if you've ever wondered why it feels impossible to get ahead no matter how hard you work, today we're going to break down exactly why that happens. My name is Rex, and I spend way too much time thinking about why being poor is so expensive. If you're someone who's working hard but still feels like every unexpected expense pushes you backward instead of forward, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Here's the thing, most people believe poverty is simply about not earning enough money. That's only part of the story. The much bigger problem is that once you're short on money, almost every financial decision becomes more expensive. It's like trying to climb a hill while someone keeps adding weight to your backpack. Today we'll look at the hidden costs that keep millions of people stuck, the psychology behind those decisions, and most importantly, how you can slowly break out of that cycle. Let's start with something economists sometimes call the poverty premium. It's the extra money people pay simply because they don't have enough money up front. That sounds ridiculous, but it's everywhere. According to the U.S. Federal Reserve's survey of household economics and decision-making, a significant share of adults would struggle to cover an unexpected $400 expense using cash or its equivalent. Think about that. A single emergency can completely derail someone's finances. Now imagine your refrigerator breaks. Option A, you have $900 in savings. You buy a reliable refrigerator. Done. Option B, you don't have $900, so you finance it. Now you pay $900 purchase price. Interest, whites and asins, financing fees. The same refrigerator ends up costing over $1,100 or even $1,300. Same appliance, different financial position, different price. Why cheap is often expensive. Here's what most people don't realize. Buying the cheapest option isn't always the cheapest decision. Let's look at shoes. Person A buys a pair for $140. They last 4 years. That's $35 per year. Person B can only afford a $35 pair. They wear out every 6 months. Over 4 years, they buy 8 pairs. 8 times $35 equals $280. The person with less money spends twice as much. This idea has been discussed for decades because it's something people experience constantly. Furniture, mattresses, kitchen tools, car tires, winter coats, electronics. When you can't afford durability, you end up paying for replacements. Again, and again, and again. The high cost of borrowing. Now let's talk about interest. This is where it gets really interesting. Imagine 2 people need $1,000. One has excellent credit. They qualify for a personal loan at 8%. The other has poor credit. Their only option is a loan charging 30%. Over time, the second person pays hundreds more in interest. Not because they bought something better, not because they borrowed more, simply because lenders see them as riskier. Poor credit becomes expensive. Being late becomes expensive. Having no emergency fund becomes expensive. Every setback creates another setback. It's a cycle. The time tax money isn't the only thing that's expensive. Time is too. Someone with financial stability can order groceries online, pay bills automatically, get preventative health care, repair their car before it breaks down. Someone living paycheck to paycheck often can't. Instead, they wait in lines, visit multiple stores chasing discounts, ride multiple buses, miss work because transportation fails, delay medical treatment until it becomes an emergency. Researchers have repeatedly found that financial hardship consumes an enormous amount of mental bandwidth. Instead of focusing on long-term goals, your brain is constantly solving today's emergency. The psychology of scarcity. This brings us to something fascinating. Behavioral scientists have studied what scarcity does to the human brain. When resources become scarce, your attention naturally focuses on immediate survival. That sounds helpful, and sometimes it is, but it also makes long-term planning much harder. Imagine trying to solve a difficult puzzle while someone blasts loud music beside you. That's what financial stress feels like. It's not that people suddenly become irresponsible. Their mental energy is being consumed by immediate problems. Rent, food, gas, medicine. The future gets crowded out by today. Why don't people just save? Now, you might be thinking, if saving is so important, why doesn't everyone just put away $20 every week? Fair question. But here's the problem. Saving is easiest when nothing goes wrong. Life doesn't work that way. The transmission fails. The water heater leaks. Hours get cut at work. Someone gets sick. A child needs school supplies. For households with very little financial cushion, even tiny emergencies erase months of savings. That's why building wealth isn't just about discipline. It's also about having enough margin to survive unexpected setbacks. The subscription trap. Let's look at another hidden expense. Small recurring payments. Imagine streaming services, food delivery memberships, buy now pay later installments, app subscriptions. None of them seem expensive individually, but together, maybe $12, $18, $25, $14, $16. That's over $80 every month, nearly $1,000 every year. The scary part isn't the number, it's how invisible those expenses become. The compound effect works both ways. People usually hear about compound interest helping investors, but debt compounds too. Imagine carrying $5,000 on a credit card charging around 25%. If you only make minimum payments, you'll pay thousands of dollars in interest before becoming debt-free. That's money that could have been invested, or saved, or used for opportunities. Instead, it pays for yesterday, breaking the cycle. So what can you actually do? Let's keep this practical. First, build a tiny emergency fund. Forget 6 months of expenses. Start with $250, then $500, then $1,000. That first $1,000 prevents countless future emergencies from becoming debt. Second, avoid high-interest debt whenever possible. If you already have it, prioritize paying off the highest interest first while making minimum payments on everything else. Third, buy fewer, better quality items whenever it makes financial sense. Don't buy expensive things just because they're expensive. Buy durable things that reduce replacement costs. Fourth, know exactly where your money goes. Review your last month's spending. You'll probably find subscriptions or impulse purchases you've forgotten about. Fifth, increase income whenever possible. Negotiating a raise, learning a new skill, taking freelance work, starting a side business. Reducing expenses matters. Increasing income often changes your financial trajectory much faster. The biggest mindset shift. Here's something that changed the way I think about money. Financial stability isn't about buying luxury. It's about buying options. Savings buy options. Good credit buys options. Skills buy options. Investments buy options. Every dollar you save today gives future. That's freedom. Final thoughts. If you're struggling financially, don't assume you're failing because you're lazy or bad with money. Many people are working incredibly hard while fighting a system that quietly charges them more at almost every turn. Understanding that doesn't magically solve the problem, but it does help you stop blaming yourself for challenges that have real economic causes. The good news? Small improvements compound. A slightly larger emergency fund, a slightly better credit score, one less high-interest payment, one extra source of income. These aren't overnight transformations. They're building blocks, and over years, not weeks, they can completely change your financial future. Remember, the goal isn't to look rich, it's to become financially resilient. Because once you build enough breathing room, life becomes dramatically less expensive. If this video gave you a new perspective, hit the like button, subscribe for more practical financial education, and let me know in the comments, what's one hidden expense you've experienced that made you realize being broke can actually cost more? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.